All right, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Welcome to Tuesday night fight night and round 14 life. We're waiting for boxing aficionado and historian Jimmy D to come aboard. We're going to be talking about Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield, the real deal. And he was the real deal. A lot of excitement with these. We're going to talk about the fight and the rematch because they fought twice. As you know, some very real interesting things went down. Mike Tyson was probably not, he was 30 years old. He probably wasn't in peak shape or the best physical condition. He just came out of jail not too long ago. So let's see if Jimmy's here. There he is. There he is.
How we doing, buddy?
Good, Jim. How you doing today?
All right, everything good, good.
This is your kind of weather, nice and warm outside.
Oh, it's beautiful out, thank God.
Beautiful stuff. Jim, thanks for joining us on Fight Night at Round 14 .life. We have a pretty interesting matchup tonight. We have Mike Tyson versus Evander, the real deal Holyfield.
Oh, November 9th, 1996.
Wow. They fought
10 p.m. Las Vegas.
They fought twice. And, of course, we're going to get to the second fight, too, because it didn't go too far, and that was really interesting. But this was Mike Tyson. Now, from what I saw, this wasn't the same Mike Tyson. You know, he kind of had two parts to his career, at least two. He just came out of jail recently.
Right, he came out of jail. He had a few fights, and then he won back the title. So, but
Yeah.
The big thing is he didn't have Customato anymore.
Yeah.
Customato passed away, and that's when Mike, he started losing interest in the game. He had different trainers and whatnot.
Yeah.
He lost his title to, Buster Douglas.
Yeah. Kevin Rooney was gone as well.
In 1990, he lost his title to Buster Douglas, and
Wow.
he knocked out in the 10th round. He was like a 42-1 favorite.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a great story in itself right there. But, Mike Tyson, I mean, he was one of the most brutal fighters I ever saw come up. Aggressive, always moving forward, just wanted to take your head off, like would not take a step backwards.
No.
But you know what? Sometimes you become civilized. I mean, Mike was really famous. He made a lot of money. He was the darling of he was on TV shows. He married a Hollywood actress, Robin Givens.
Right. He became the youngest heavyweight guy to ever win the title. 20 years old, and he beat Trevor Berbick for the title, 1985. So he was the youngest heavyweight champ ever, and he was just knocking out everybody.
Unbelievable.
So fights were events, and they ended early.
They were a big deal.
Knocked out Larry Holmes. I mean, he was beating everybody. Thomas.
Yeah.
And along comes Buster Douglas, and they fought in Japan, and he knocks out Mike Tyson. I mean, I remember that. It was younger than. I mean, everybody was in shock.
Yeah.
And he got knocked out in the 10th round, and then he went to jail, like you said, and a lot of the ups and downs. His change, Customato earlier died. That was his mentor, Customato. And he trained up in the Catskills at his place up there. He was with Customato since he was 13 years old.
Wow.
So and he got into the fast lane, and and then everything came to a halt. And then, like you said, prison and whatnot. So
Yeah, everything happens. So he comes out of prison and he fights Peter McNeely. Easy fight.
Easy
All
fight.
right. Buster Mathis, another
Right.
easy fight.
Yeah.
Then he fought Mark Bruno from England.
Frank Bruno. Frank Bruno.
Frank Bruno. I'm sorry, Frank Bruno.
And Frank Bruno, he had the title. And, Frank Bruno wasn't a bad fighter, but
No.
Mike wound up beating him. I think it was the 5th round, the 6th round. He beat Frank Bruno. And
Yeah.
then, he was back, Mike. And then now
And
they were supposed to, him and Holyfield, they knew each other. They sparred with each other in the Olympic trials when they were younger years ago. And
84, 83.
yeah, 84. Well, before that, but 84
Yeah.
Olympic trials. And Holyfield made the team, and Tyson didn't. He lost to Henry Tillman, I believe.
Wow.
So he didn't make the team. And Holyfield went on to fight in the Olympics. And he should have won the gold medal, but they robbed him. They said he hit on the break, and
No.
they penalty. They gave him a penalty, and he only wound up winning the bronze. But Holyfield should have won the gold medal. So,
Wow.
but
Yeah, they were.
class act, and he took it like a man, and then they went from there.
So his Mike's last fight before the Holyfield was Bruce Seldon, and it really wasn't much of a fight.
No, that wasn't a fight at all. And then he won the title back.
That's when he got the title. Yeah. Now Holyfield, like you said, was an Olympic champion,
Right.
and he moved up in weight classes, didn't he?
Yeah, he started as light heavy. Then he went
Okay.
to weight. He had those titles. Then he jumped to heavyweight.
Wow.
And then he was fighting, and they were supposed to fight years ago as pros, Tyson and Holyfield. But
Didn't Mike get hurt?
he got hurt, and I think he went to jail, and they pushed it back. So then, let's see, Holyfield wind up fighting Buster Douglas, who just beat Tyson, and he winds up knocking out Buster Douglas in the 2nd round. So he becomes heavyweight champ now. So he has the title.
Yeah. I think when they fought, Tyson was 30 and Holyfield was 34 years old.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So Tyson looked like he was kind of past his prime, but Holyfield, I'll tell you what, he did not look like he was past his prime. He could still bring it.
No, and they thought this was going to be a pushover for Tyson. They thought he would go right through Holyfield.
I think it was 25-1 odds. And then right before the fight, they said it dropped to 6-1 odds.
Right.
In favor of Tyson, but they closed the gap for some reason.
Right. And then, this was at the MGM. And then, let's see. Before this, Tyson's, one of his main aspects of his fighting game was intimidation.
Oh, yeah.
He intimidated all of his opponents. He said he got that from Roberto Duran. But he intimidated opponents before they got in the ring. They were scared. One guy this wasn't going to work with was Holyfield.
Sure.
Holyfield was not going to be intimidated. And Mike tried to start that as soon as the fight started.
Yeah.
And, Mike Holyfield wasn't going to have that.
No, I'll tell you what. So you had two guys, real tough fighters meeting. Tyson was Tyson. At one point, everybody maybe considered him to be the best ever. Holyfield, he had a good reputation. He kind of thought that he tired once in a while during long fights, but nobody questioned his heart. So he said before the fight, Mike Tyson always moved forward. So if I could move Mike Tyson back, man, how many guys would even think they could move Mike Tyson back? He goes, I could stop Mike Tyson's power.
Right. Yeah. I think Tyson underestimated Holyfield's power.
Yeah.
Once we get to the fight, Holyfield was actually pushing Tyson off him.
Yeah.
Nobody ever did that before.
That's what I'm saying. All right, so let's go. So round one starts, all right, the fight. Now, here you have two guys. Round one was basically a feeling out process, but, you could see both guys were trying to get that edge. Who was going to be the man, and who's going to I don't know why I say outman, but who's going to overpower the other guy? Who was going to be the aggressor?
Right, right. And as soon as it started, Tyson came out and he bent to the left and usually throws a left hook, but he surprised Holyfield and threw a wild right hand.
Right. Yeah.
And he missed, but he just came out bombing Mike right away.
Yeah.
And Holyfield just kept his cool and just fired back.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be intimidating. Mike Tyson's charging you from across the ring. I mean, just the fact that Holyfield stood there was like, let's go. I mean, that was amazing.
Right. Yeah.
And the first couple of rounds were all like that. I mean, really just two guys, two bulls trying to like just knock the other guy out or push him back or be aggressive. Like neither fighter really backed down, but you could see it going to Holyfield as the rounds went on.
Right, because you could see he wasn't getting intimidated, and he was. Tyson came forward, and Holyfield would just bang him back and just start pushing him around. And so then Mike, Mike used to get a little, depressed, and if he didn't knock a guy out within 3 rounds.
Sure, he got spoiled.
Yeah, his intimidation act didn't work for Holyfield. Don't forget, Holyfield was a 2-time champ already. So, Olympic fighter, he was no tomato kid.
It wasn't a pushover, that's for sure. So as the fight was going on, the early rounds, I mean, Tyson was being Tyson, but he just didn't seem as sharp. And Holyfield seemed like he was the faster puncher. I mean, combinations. And that's one thing I didn't really see from Mike was those famous combinations. It was one punch, and they were holding each other.
See, that's the problem with Tyson later on. Like, say, after Buster Douglas, his style changed. When he was young with Gus D'Amato, he would throw punches and bunches. He would bob and weave and throw, 3-4 punches at a clip and whatnot. Later on, Tyson, he stood straight up, and he would just throw one punch at a time. Even telecast, Bobby Ches was saying, that's not going to work with Holyfield, just throwing one punch at a time.
I know.
And then, Tyson, he really wasn't in the condition as he was as a kid. So, he started to slow down after, 3rd round or so, trying to load up on one punch, and Holyfield knew that.
Then Holyfield catches him in the 6th round with a shot. It looked like to the body that knocked him down.
Right. Yeah. He knocked him shot with a body shot. And Mike was tired already.
Yeah, you could see that.
He was shocked. Everybody was shocked that he put Tyson down. Because he was a heavy underdog.
The crowd went crazy because that was old Tyson, the only 2nd time he's been down in his career.
Right, yeah. And then, Holyfield was just putting his combinations together, and he was cool. He kept his head together. He had his fight plan. When Mike got close, he would tie him up or push him off. And, then they were starting to butt heads, not
7th round.
But they started, their heads started banging because Tyson came in low, and Holyfield was putting his head low, and they were headbutting, but it wasn't on purpose. So Tyson started his fight game. He started to come apart.
Yeah, because things weren't going his way. He was used to the early TK knockouts, and that wasn't happening. Not with Evander Holyfield, anyway.
No.
So now you get to the 6th round. He gets knocked down. Okay, only the 2nd time from a body shot, and then round 7 goes, and the headbutt, like you said, the headbutts are starting now. He's cut. He's open. He's kind of looking to the referee, and I've never seen Mike Tyson look to the referee for anything.
Right, and he was never cut before, so now he's really, his game plan is really out the window, Mike. He's confused because now he's got and it was a bad cut too,
Oh yeah, it was deep.
So now they're butting heads. He's cut, he's been down, and now and also he's not in the best of condition, Tyson.
Yeah.
So now his fight game has changed dramatically.
I don't even think at the point, like they say in the seventh, eighth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, where all Holyfield won those 3 rounds. So Tyson's losing rounds. I mean,
Right.
it's not like he was close. I mean, everybody pretty much was giving the nod to Holyfield at that time.
Oh yeah, no, Mike's in trouble now. Now they go into the 10th. And
Yeah.
Holyfield really teased off on Tyson.
At
And
the end of the round, especially,
at the end of the round, at the bell, he was out on his feet.
he looked it. Yeah.
Tyson was out on his feet. When the bell rang, it's actually saved him in the 10th round.
Yeah.
He was out on his feet.
I can't believe they actually sent him out for the 11th round. Because when the bell starts, you could see that Tyson was still like in la la land, like what is going on here?
Yeah, he forgot his mouthpiece coming out of the
Forgot his
corner.
mouthpiece. Yeah, yeah.
And then he was hurt. So now the crowd's going crazy here, and Tyson is in a lot of trouble now. And
Yeah, 11th.
that was winning the fight anyway. So Tyson needs a knockout.
Yeah, and it's just not going to happen. And the 11th round starts, and it's amazing because early in the fight, the video I watched between the corners, this is the mindset. Holyfield's manager was telling him, "You're the bully. He's not the bully. You're the bully." So from get-go, they were like, you're just as tough, you're just as strong, and you're just as forceful as Mike Tyson. And that's the mindset Holyfield had, and it just carried him right through. So the 11th round starts, doesn't go long, combinations, and Tyson, they stop the fight.
Yes, yeah. No, they stopped the fight, and there you go. Tyson, he loses his title, and it's a shock. Holyfield becomes champ. He wins that. I think it was the WBA version.
Okay.
Because he lost it years ago. Then they said he had a heart condition. Holyfield.
Okay.
So he lost to Michael Moore. He lost his fight to Michael Moore in Vegas. So he didn't have the title since then.
Yeah. That was stunning. That was like, so if you bet some money on Holyfield, you won.
Right. Yeah. So that's it. So he becomes a 2-time champ now. So they're both 2-time.
Wow.
And you know what's going to happen now. Fight number 2.
Yeah, they got to have the rematch. Imagine the money. Now, how long was the time between the first fight and the second fight?
All right. The first fight was November. Then the second fight was in June. So they got back to June of the next year. So it was 97 June.
All right. So less than a year. Now for the rematch, I think Tyson got 40 million and Holyfield got 47 million for the rematch.
Yes.
It's a lot of money.
Oh, yes, it is.
That's a lot of money.
Tyson promised a different version. He said he was out of shape, and the head button. Now, so they're all set. So it's June of the following year, and they go at it again.
And here they go. All right, so the crowd is going crazy. Such anticipation. I mean, before the fight, Tyson looked, he had that focus. He looked like he had the eye of the tiger, so to speak. I mean, he looked like he was ready for war before the fight started.
Yeah, I think he weighed 3 pounds less. He was in a little better shape, too.
Better shape.
Holyfield was 215. I think they were both about 215. So he was in even a little better shape, Tyson. And he was going to get his title back.
And his trainer, Rich Giacchetti, was that his name? Giacchetti?
Yeah, Rich Giacchetti. He was the longtime trainer, Larry Holmes.
Yeah,
right. So he's a good trainer, right? So
yes, they were preaching that they were going to do more. Mike was going to do more jabbing, more of the old Mike, bobbing, weaving, can't hit me. But that really didn't happen. It happened for a little bit. So the fight starts in round 1. They're just going toe to toe.
Right, they're going toe to toe. They came out fast, plugging. Tyson came out bombing, And once again, Holyfield was he was waiting for him. He wasn't being intimidated, and then
Yeah.
they started going at it. And all of a sudden, they started clashing heads.
The second round, the headbutt started already. And Tyson looks right over to the referee like, did you see that? So to me, Tyson was already mentally like just beaten, or he knew he was up against it. Round two.
Right, right. And I think he was cut already. He was cut already in the second round.
Yeah, second round. He gets that. It just was, you could see that things were not going to go in Mike's favor again. Every time Holyfield threw combinations, it just was like, wow. I mean, he's taken it to Mike Tyson for the second time. You know, he's not taking a step backwards. He was physically pushing Tyson backwards in the first and second round
Right.
of,
Yes.
of the second fight, which was pretty amazing.
Right. And now Tyson he's really lost control now. Now he's really his game plan. I mean, he lost his head now because he's
Yeah.
really getting annoyed that he's getting but he thinks it's done, but it really wasn't. They were
Yeah.
clashing heads when they're coming down. You know, Tyson's
Yeah.
a shorter fighter, and he's coming in with his head, and Holyfield's leaning forward and just keep clashing heads.
Yeah. So round three happens, and like nothing anybody's ever seen before or since, Mike Tyson in a clinch bites his ear.
Right, he's got him in clinch, and then all of a sudden he gets his head by Holyfield's shoulder and just bites his ear. And
That's amazing.
Holyfield just, I mean, naturally goes wild, starts jumping, grabs his ear, and nobody knows what happened. And then
Yeah.
they finally say he bit his ear, and Holyfield grabs his ear. The ref stops the action, and goes, and Holyfield's bleeding, missing a chunk of his ear. You
Wow.
know,
That's unbelievable.
and Miles Lane is the ref. You
Yeah.
know, and so now nobody knows what just happened. You know, and everybody's shocked. Bob Chez and the announcers, they were in
Yeah.
shock that you know, no one ever seen this before. You know,
No.
chunk out of his ear.
And Mills Lane was going around saying he was going to disqualify him when the doctor came up into the ring and the commissioner. And instead of disqualifying Tyson, he said, I'll take 2 points off.
Right, which was hard to believe because really he should have disqualified him right there.
You can't bite people and say, keep fighting. I mean, come on. That's crazy.
And then he went to the corner and he told Tyson corner. And, Tyson denied the fight. He said it was, Miles Lane said bullshit. You know,
That's right. Yeah.
2 points from him. But
Yeah. That was
so
crazy.
actually even let the fight go. Now Tyson, Holyfield's ear is bleeding like crazy. He's got a chunk missing, and he let the fight continue.
Yeah. And what's Tyson do when they get back in the clinch?
What happens? He bites him again.
I've never seen anything like that. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, how desperate do you have to be as a fighter? I mean, you're admitting that, you can't beat this man, so I have to bite him. Did he want to get disqualified?
No, I don't think. I think he just lost his total control. Obviously, you know, he had
Yeah.
some, but he lost total control. You know, he thought he was getting bit. I mean, head bit.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, on purpose, and so he just took it upon himself to start biting, which was totally insane to do.
And so they stopped the fight. All right. Of course, they disqualified Mike Tyson. They stopped the fight, but Tyson still wants a piece of Holyfield.
And then the melee breaks out. Holyfield walked away. Tyson pushed him from behind, pushed him,
Yeah,
and then both sides jumped in the ring. They started fighting.
yeah,
Security. Tyson went berserk. He started fighting with security. I mean,
yeah,
total Oh my
There
God.
had to be 50 people. There had to be between security and everybody. There had to be 50 people in the ring after the fight.
Probably more. It was just total chaos, and no one knew what was going on. Tyson lost control. Then he started fighting the security guards.
Yeah. Wow.
And it
I
was,
mean, it was unbelievable.
oh,
It was definitely a mark against boxing. I mean, a heavyweight fight, you don't want to see that happen.
no,
Ruin a great rematch or a great fight. I mean, look what we're talking about instead of talking about the actual fight.
right. And once
You
again,
know,
Tyson suspended again. I mean, they were thinking they weren't even going to let him fight again. But he had
yeah.
suspension again,
Mm.
and Holyfield retained his crown, obviously, you know. But
How,
no, it was
how long did Tyson go after that, Jim?
Tyson.
Career-wise?
He fought. Let's see, until 2003, I think his last fight. But
Okay.
they were. I mean, he quit on his stool a couple times, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that wasn't the Mike Tyson. He was just. He
It's
was just
amazing.
shell of his former self.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow. It's
he
sad.
he didn't even want to fight again, and he wrote a book where he got, he lost control. He got into drugs too much. He wasn't training, and you
Yeah.
know, he was bad financially. All his money was gone. He didn't want to do it no more.
I mean, you really can't blame what human being could come from where Mike Tyson came from and then make it to the top. At 20 years old, everybody in the world knows your name. Everybody knows the heavyweight champ. And you have money, you have fame, you have everything that you need. So, I mean, how hard is it to keep that focus going? I mean, and at 10 years later, at 30, I mean, he's done. And actually, 10 years isn't a bad amount of time to be a boxer, a pro boxer.
No, no, not at all. He was still young, but he had a lot of issues. So that was
Yeah,
'97, and they both went their separate ways, and there was a lot of animosity, but they got over that. Mike apologized,
yeah,
for that. And Holyfield, he's a God-fearing man. He accepted the
yeah.
challenge. And now we stay. Now today is let's see. Since that last fight, it's 23 years later now. Now this is
Wow.
2020.
Yeah,
And there's talk of Tyson Holyfield 3.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Now Tyson is back in training. I think he's this month. Let's see. Tyson is 54. He got into
Wow.
he's an excellent, well, physical condition. He lost a lot of weight. I mean, he's in
Sure.
shape, whatnot. I mean, listen, he's not in boxing shape. I mean, to go 12.
Yeah.
But now Holyfield is talking. He's coming back. He's training. He's getting in shape.
Wow.
They're actually saying, let's have a third fight between these guys now. Tyson's
That's,
54. Holyfield is 56, I believe. 56. And
yeah.
actually talk, I mean,
That's
the
crazy.
same maybe for charity, they get it on again. But imagine these guys, one guy's 56, one guy's 54. And 23 years later, there's talk there might be a third fight.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, I think that's a little too much. I think Mike Tyson wants to get a third chance at it, but
Yeah.
I'd stay so far away from that. Forget about it. At this age, it's crazy.
No, Mike actually said the other day he's ready to fight Tyson Fury. He wants to fight Tyson Fury.
Sure,
But
Jesus.
Fury said yes, but he's thinking, sparring something for charity, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
But they asked Bob Arum, would he promote that? He said, absolutely not. He said that
Oh, he
would be
said no.
death sentence to Mike Tyson because, I mean, sure, he's in shape. I mean, he could still throw punches. He could still knock somebody out, Mike. But,
Yeah,
fight 12 rounds now, I don't think it's going to happen.
that's
You know,
that's crazy.
I mean, it'll be like giving Michael Jordan a basketball now. Sure, he could still play basketball. He could still be
Yeah,
on one, but is he going to play 60-minute game? No.
I
You
know.
know,
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Is he going to go up against LeBron James now? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks great for 54, but that's 54.
That's 54. That's a different number.
But yeah, but in boxing, you never know. But that one,
It was definitely, I'll tell you what, it was definitely a great moment. The first fight was great, boxing history-wise. Tyson Holyfield won. There was a lot of anticipation. People were excited. And I always like when boxing, people get excited to watch boxing again. The sport is so great. It's been around for so long. So to watch that, it was awesome. And even though Mike lost, it was still a great fight. Everybody talked about it. It's just sad what happened in the second fight had to happen.
right. And to this day, now the second fight is called the bite fight.
The bite fight.
It's called the
Wow.
bite fight.
Bite fight. That's appropriate. Yeah.
Anybody who doesn't even know boxing, if you talk about Mike Tyson, they'll say, yeah, the bite fight, him and Holyfield and whatnot, and
Even now, when I rewatch the video of the second fight, it's amazing to just see what happened. The biting of the ear. You just still can't believe it, even though it happened years ago. To watch it, and it's a shame because, like I said, two great warriors. That could have been a great fight, and to end that way, and it's definitely a mark against Mike Tyson. I feel that's for sure. He's better than that.
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
But listen, they'll always remember. I mean, you got to when you talk Mike Tyson, you got to fight. You got to talk to early Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
85 to 89. I mean, he was just he was a force. I mean, not only did he punch hard, but he was fast. That's what people don't realize.
Yeah.
Fast for combination. I mean, he was deadly.
Plus, you couldn't hit him, Jim. I mean, he was the head movement. I mean, he was like Joe Frazier on steroids. I mean, you could not hit him.
No, and he had such strength, but speed and power, together. He was hands. He wasn't just a lumbering fighter. He was fast.
Yeah. It was something. It was definitely a big part of boxing history, Mike Tyson. That's for sure.
No, and then again, listen, Holyfield, I mean, listen, Holyfield, what a warrior he is. You know what I mean? He was multiple-time champ, and his fights with Riddick Bowe were unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, the fights he had with Riddick Bowe and George Foreman. I mean,
He beat Foreman, right?
Yeah, he was a fighter for the ages. I mean, Evander Holyfield. I mean, he was some kind of champ.
One of the best.
Oh no, in condition. I mean, he beat everybody out there. You know what I mean? His fights with Riddick Bowe, I mean, they were classic wars. It was amazing.
He just didn't
he'd come back the next fight and he beat you.
Yeah.
His nickname was the Holy Warrior.
Wow.
The Holy
God-fearing man.
Yeah, but like I said, now he's coming back too now. So boxing, never say never in boxing.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, Jimmy, I want to thank you for joining us again for Tuesday Night Fight Night on Round 14 Life. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Always my pleasure, Phil. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll see you next week.
So long now.
Thank you.